angel. What is it you want, Barry? You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Welcome home, Mr. Bailey.
Sentimental hogwash. I wish I had $1 million. Mr. and Mrs. Martini, welcome home.
This is what I wished for.
You see, George, you really had a wonderful life.
Merry Christmas!
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right. That's right.
And that is, of course, It's a Wonderful Life, the Frank Capra masterpiece from 1947. This is a movie that just makes everybody feel good, isn't it? If you don't like this one, if this doesn't make you feel good, I don't know that you're a movie buff or into movies that much anyway. Interesting movie. I grew up in, I was a little kid in the 70s. This movie was on all the time, and apparently the copyright had expired, so around Christmas when there wasn't much programming, everybody would show this movie, all the local stations, and people just grew to love it. It got more and more popular. I used the clip here as actually a new trailer that Paramount put out a few years ago because they'd remastered it and put this classic on Blu-ray. It is a fun movie, and the trailer there kind of brings everything together for you. It shows you little pieces throughout the movie. It's a movie that stands the test of time. Everybody goes through hard times in their life, and this is one where it shows, the story is, it shows what life would have been like without James Stewart's character in this, George Bailey. He keeps trying to get out of this town, and he keeps getting stuck in it over and over and over again. So at the end, it's really comes full circle, and he realizes he does have a wonderful life. It's, again, our number 8 movie of all time. And I'll tell you why I like this movie so much, and it's at the top of a lot of people's lists, or near the top, not the top. For me, it's this is what movies should do. Takes you away from your real life for a little bit, lets you think about good thoughts. Sometimes movies make you think more critically about things. This one just is, it does it all. It really is fantastic. It's uplifting. It's become the Christmas classic, although slowly being replaced by an actually underrated movie, as popular it is A Christmas Story. This is, I think, going to be the perennial classic. It'll be around for another 100 years, I'm sure, and I enjoy it every year. Hope you do as well. If you haven't seen it yet, this is one you do want to watch during a holiday time or when you're kind of down and depressed. Both of these times are good times to watch this for the first time. And this one's, you really have to let yourself sink into this movie a little bit. George Bailey's character really can't figure out what he wants till about the end of the movie. And isn't that true for a lot of us? It takes a long time to appreciate what you've got in life and to realize where your center is and what you really love about life and how important you are to it and how important you are to the people around you. So, number 8, hope you enjoyed. Our next movie, this next clip's a little bit longer, but it's critically important. And that's going to be our number 7 movie of all time, The Godfather.
I went to the police like a good American. These two boys were brought to trial. The judge sentenced them to 3 years in prison and suspended the sentence. Suspended the sentence. They went free that very day. I stood in the courtroom like a fool. And those 2 bastards, they smiled at me. Then I said to my wife, for justice, we must go to Don Corleone.
Why did you go to the police? Why didn't you come to me first?
What do you want of me? Tell me anything. do what I beg you to do.
What is that? That I cannot do.
I'll give you anything you ask.
We've known each other many years, but this is the first time you ever came to me for counsel, for help. I can't remember the last time that you invited me to your house for a cup of coffee. Even though my wife is godmother to your only child. But let's be frank, you never wanted my friendship. And you were afraid to be in my debt.
I didn't want to get into trouble.
I understand. You found paradise in America. Had a good trade, made a good living. Police protected you, and there were courts of law. You didn't need a friend like me. But now you come to me and you say, Don Corleone, give me justice. But you don't ask with respect. You don't offer friendship. You don't even think to call me Godfather. Instead, you come into my house on the day my daughter's to be married and you ask me to do murder. Money.
I ask you for justice.
That is not justice. Your daughter is still alive.
Let him suffer then. As she suffers. How much shall I pay you?
Buonasera. Buonasera. What have I ever done to make you treat me so disrespectfully? If you'd come to me in friendship, then the scum that ruined your daughter would be suffering this very day. And if by chance an honest man like yourself should make enemies, then he would become my enemies. And then they would fear you.
Be my friend. Godfather.
Good. Someday, and that day may never come, I'll call upon you to do a service for me.
"1972's The Godfather." Always on the top of everybody's top 100 list, or near the top. This opening scene is your introduction to The Godfather, meaning you're supposed to get now what this guy is. It starts with, I believe in America, and this guy's lived his life right, but it didn't work out for him. Something happened to him, and he needs this Godfather, Don Corleone, to come in and make things right. And the Godfather, it starts off, he's just listening, and you see that little wave of the hand right at the beginning, and then somebody brings him a drink. They know what the Godfather wants. They do it for him. But what's really interesting is the guy comes around the other side of the desk and whispers into the Godfather's ear. Obviously, they wants him to murder these two guys that have beat up his daughter. So the whole thing is a negotiation and an introduction to you of what this is all about. It's the Godfather wants something from this guy. If he's going to do him the favor, it's not a favor. It's a contract negotiation. And he talks about justice and everything, and he sees himself in this kind of warped light of the courts and the police can't give you justice. Only I, the head of a criminal underworld empire, can give you justice. So it sets up the tone for the whole movie, and it's that's the reason it's a classic. This was written by Mario Puzo, the novel, and he wrote the screenplay with Coppola. Francis Ford Coppola directed, of course. A lot of great talent in this. James Caan, Robert Duvall, Al Pacino. It's a great cast, very well directed. Marlon Brando, of course, is one of the greatest actors of all time. And in that scene, we see the little subtle nuances, the body cues he does, holding the cat and petting it, and strokes his chin a little bit. He knows he has power. He seems to be trying to use it honorably, but maybe not, because he really does just want something from this guy. This is one I think everybody's seen by now. It's often these days I hear people say The Godfather 2 is a better movie. I disagree with that. This is the masterpiece. Godfather 2's excellent movie as well. Robert De Niro is fantastic in this. I think it's this and Raging Bull are by far his two greatest parts. I love the movie Goodfellas, but just don't think he's as good in that. Robert Duvall is fantastic as Tom Hagen. If there's one criticism I'd give of this movie, is Al Pacino's character development is really abrupt. And I talked to a lot of other movie friends about this. Is it because the other girl got killed, he lost Diane Keaton? But once Al Pacino or Michael Corleone goes bad, he never comes back. And people say, oh, he's trying to. He's not trying very hard. He's just as ruthless, if not more ruthless, than his father was. So it's a fun movie too. My wife likes it, but sometimes complains this is a guy movie. I don't know if that's true or not. I think everybody enjoys this. They can enjoy it. There's something in there for everybody. A bit of a long movie. And the other weird thing about this movie is you kind of got to be in a mindset to watch it. You know you shouldn't be rooting for these guys, and sometimes you do. Nothing like in The Third Man, where you're rooting for Orson Welles' character, who's just awful. You still can't help but not identify with him, but root for him. That's not what goes on here, but there's the characters are so well developed, and that's hard to do in a longer movie like this with such a big cast, but they really are, and you kind of start to understand their motivations. Makes it much more enjoyable the second or third time you watch this. So that's our seventh greatest movie of all time. Again, I'm just a movie buff, I'm not a professional critic. These are just my interpretations, my opinions on one of the greatest movies. But this one is going to be on everybody's list. It's very well done. Excellent cinematography in this one, often overlooked, especially the part, if you remember, Keep the Cannolis, where the car's driving along the countryside there, I guess in New Jersey, because you can see New York City in the backdrop. Some of the scenery when Don Corleone gets shot early on in the movie, it's just very well done. Coppola did enough. He usually does. Fantastic job on this one. So that's 7 and 8. So we've got 9 and 10 coming up here to round out our top 10. And maybe one surprise there. But as we get through 10 to 20 and further up, you're going to see some movies on my list that aren't on anybody else's list. And I'm going to pull some of those out for you. I've got a list of 5 movies you've never seen before, and I'll give you a sneak preview. One is called Badlands by Terrence Malick. It's gotten more and more popular over the years. It stars Martin Sheen and Sissy Spacek. It's actually based on a true story. It's almost cracks the top 10 for me. It is. All of these, again, are masterpieces. So we'll get into that. A couple other ones that I'm sure you probably haven't heard of before that are fantastic movies. I'll tell you why. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Again, The Godfather at number 7. At number 8 was perennial classic. Every year you got to watch it. It's a Wonderful Life with James Stewart. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again real soon.